Gosh, that's a great question. Um, wow. Uh, I I learned so much about myself as an artist in terms of I learned a lot of personal things that are maybe harder to pin down.
Hello.
Hi, how are you, Jana?
Hi, Clint. I'm doing fine, and you?
Good, good.
Yes, thank you so much for your time. It's a pleasure to talk to you.
I'm looking
And
forward to it. Thank you for asking.
yes, of course. And first, I want to congratulate you in this is your director debut, right?
Yes,
So,
it is.
yes, it's very exciting, right? So,
It is.
yes, it's a great movie, amazing
Thank you.
performances. I really like the cinematography and the way you handle the camera, but we're going to be talking about that.
Okay,
So,
great. Thank you.
yes. So first, I want to start asking you. You co-wrote the script with Greg, but
Yes.
what was like the inspiration? I know it's kind of a little personal for you, but can you tell me a little bit about the inspiration for the script?
Yeah, it came from my family story. My dad was a jockey, and I just grew up in that world, and I grew up seeing the life that he led. And I realized as I got a little older that I didn't see many movies that felt like they gave that feeling across. And so I just wanted to get that across on film. And the other thing I found was like a lot of people who didn't know anything about horse racing, they didn't even know what a jockey was or what a jockey did. And so, telling their story became something that was very important as well.
Yeah, this is something very interesting about the movie. It's not about the horses, it's not about winning or losing. It's about them,
Yeah,
about the,
yeah.
the, the jockey. And to find the perfect actor to play your main character, Clift, what was about him that made you pick him, and how is your approach with him to get his performance? It was pretty amazing.
He's incredible. He's a phenomenal actor, and it was something that early on, Greg Kwedar, my co-writer and co-producer, and we had worked with Clifton on our previous film,
Yeah.
and he was only in a bit part, a supporting role, but we saw how much he could do, and how incredible of an actor he is, and how gifted and talented, and so we really, with that plus like becoming friends with him afterwards and seeing how much, just how deep he was as a person. He's got so many layers to him, where he's got this hardness and this toughness that you see in a lot of films that he does, but he's also got a real softness and a sweetness to him, and he's funny. He's just got so much that he has to offer, and so that was really the impulse, was to create a film that could show all of that and give him a role that could show everything that he could do, and the performance speaks for itself in terms of what he could do.
Yeah, yeah. I also like Moises, and
Oh
I
yeah,
think he's great too. All the
yeah.
movies that he did before, he has a special. It's something about him that make the role special. You know what I mean? So
Yes.
I really enjoy it.
He's amazing. He's someone, and his performance is so understated, and it's such a delicate performance. I love to watch it. It's something that just with like a subtle move of his eyes, or just, you can see the emotion playing across his face without him saying anything at all.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about like the cinematography. It's
Yes,
pretty. It's beautiful. It's like
it's amazing.
it's pretty. It's amazing, and the way that some of the conversations is like a close up of the character,
Mm-hmm.
like especially like there is a scene of the restaurant that the Moises and Cliff are talking. The camera is very close, is a close up. Like the other scenes are very close up, like with and
Yeah.
Molly Parker and Cliff in the inside the trailer. You can see that. Why?
Yes.
Talk a little bit about that approach and the cinematography.
I will say the cinematography, I'm as in love with it as everybody else is, and I have to give the credit to Adolfo Veloso, our incredible cinematographer, and I had a lot of different ideas for how I wanted it to look and feel, but they were very nebulous, and they were more ideas than like ways to execute those. And Adolfo, he just has such a strong sense of cinematic language, but also how to pull that off within a documentary style approach. And so what he was able to do with just, you know, not much lighting equipment, just mostly available light from outside, and then him operating the camera and just him, and then our first AC, who was also pulling focus, Jonas Costa. Adolfo just did such an amazing job. And in terms of the close-ups and everything, that was something that was part of our inspiration when we were coming up with the look of the movie. Was the movie is about what Clifton is going through as a character. It's not about the races. It's not about like all this the big world is a backdrop for what Clifton is going through. And so we really wanted to stay tight on Clifton's face through that. And then that translates over to then, you know, rippling across to the way you shoot the other actors. And just like, you know, getting that wide open lens, getting into the wider lenses and then getting up close to the actors is just something that you feel as an audience member, like you're in an intimate situation with them.
No, yeah, it's beautiful. And talking about, like you spoke about like little light, the cinematographer carrying the camera. How was like your biggest challenge? Like what was like the most difficult part? I know it's a small movie, a small budget, but how was that the biggest one?
It's funny because there were definitely challenges. We were shooting on a live working racetrack, so there were races happening in the background as we're filming. There were a lot of jockeys in the jocks room as we're filming. And I think, you know, I don't know, it's hard to point to a specific challenge that happened because we were very blessed in terms of the, whatever challenges there were, the racetrack and the way we were shooting it gave us so much more as a movie than any big challenges we had to overcome. I think the biggest thing, like kind of overall, was figuring out how to fold our actors and our scenes that we needed to get into moments and into places that were live and had things happening in them. Because you have in the racetrack, these people are doing their jobs, and sometimes you can just fold actors in and they can just the way the scene is constructed, they can just do whatever they're doing while the people are doing whatever they're doing in the background, and it's kind of whatever happens is okay. One of the examples is like where the preacher is giving the prayer before the race, and then Moises' character Gabriel comes walking out, and Clifton's character is there to like give him some advice. That you don't have to do much because you can just kind of let them, they're going to do whatever they're going to do, and then we're going to get our scene at the end. There were some others where we were trying to get a scene in a live jocks room where the jockeys are trying to get ready in between races, and they've got a lot to do, and there's a lot of noise, and it just wasn't gelling. And so I think our first week of figuring out how much we're going to actually, you know, simulate a live environment and just have some jockeys in the background as extras, and how much we're going to put our actors into real situations, that became kind of the biggest thing to try and figure out. I'm sorry that was long-winded, but
oh no, that's okay. That's perfect. I mean, I'm here to listen everything that I have to say about this movie. You know what I mean? It's not about me, it's about you.
It's a good question because I haven't, you know, it was the biggest thing we were trying to figure out how to figure out was like, how do you do this safely with a film crew on a live working racetrack? But everyone did so much prep and so much preparation for that, and thought so much about it that became very easy, and we didn't have to worry about it because everyone was thinking about it. And then it became, okay, how do we kind of massage this play between reality that's actually happening and then the reality we're creating and merge those two.
Yeah, and then you have the no actors, you have like regular people there. You need to control all these, like everything that is happening around you. It's but I think it came out good. I think it's amazing. Yes, it's amazing. I want to ask you something, Clint. What did you learn about yourself making this film?
Oh my gosh, that's a great question. Wow. Uh, I learned so much about myself as an artist in terms of I learned a lot of personal things that are maybe harder to pin down. But as an artist, this movie was one that it took a long time to make it. It took 3 years just to get it made, from the time we started writing it, and I'd been thinking about it a long time before that. And we went out, we didn't have much to make it with, and I made a movie that just I wanted to see. I didn't know that anybody would connect with it. I made it for the audience of one, and I was very pleasantly surprised, and I have been pleasantly surprised. The longer that it's gone on, the more people who connect with it, because it was something that was so personal that I didn't think necessarily that it would connect with a large group of people. And so that was a big lesson, is just leaning into that and trusting that, whoever you are as an artist, trusting that instinct and making the thing that you want to see, and trusting that the world will respond to it.
Yeah, now you finish Jockey, like working on, everybody's going to be able to watch soon. You work in Transpeco, which was years ago. Are you working anything new coming up next? Oh, you have something like...
Yeah, Greg and I are working on a couple different projects. We're always writing. Over that course of trying to make Jockey over those 3 years, we're also writing other things, and so hoping to make another movie very soon, and hopefully one that feels like Jockey. I think there was a lot that, like, especially working with Adolfo and working with Greg and Clifton and everybody on this one, we all figured out a process of making a movie like this that's intimate but feels very big, and I just want to continue that going forward and see and take the lessons that I learned from it and try and make the next one better.
Amazing. And it's easier for you to be living outside this Hollywood land?
Yes. I enjoy it. I love going out to Hollywood and visiting, and I've got a lot of friends out there, but yeah, I live in Texas, and with my family here, and I like being outside of the system, and being in a place where, none of my friends here really work in film. They all have other real jobs, and it's just very grounding, and it reminds you of why you're telling these stories in the first place. It's not just to get a story made. It's to actually connect with people who have a very limited time to watch movies.
Yeah, amazing. Clint, this is the time that I have with you. I just want to thank you so much for your time, and a lot of success. And I cannot wait for your next project. And thank you so much for your time. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It was nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Thank you.
Cheers.
Bye. If you like this video, don't forget to comment, to like, and subscribe to our channel right here.